Aisha, hola, ¿cómo está?
Hello. Cold. And it's funny because like we're in the same house and like you went to the beach and everything and I'm like in hoodies, socks,
Well,
pants,
because you're
everything.
acclimatized for Mexican weather. I just came from Canada, so this is actually nice and warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's your fast going?
It's really funny because I keep thinking about food, dreaming about food. And this morning I cooked, but I can't taste it or try it. But I think it actually calmed me a lot to
Yeah,
cook.
yeah. Because when you're cooking, so when we prepare food together, you get down to eat, and it's like, wow, I'm actually kind of satisfied.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the
Yes.
aroma is really powerful.
That was like super powerful, and I think I used so many like spices and everything, um but I didn't taste it, but it did brought my thoughts down a lot, regardless, like to food.
So what's the container here? You got a group of people fasting. Tell everybody the story, how and why this all got set up.
Well, actually, Laura is also here. We're doing the global 28-day reset, but we started day one yesterday. Like the day
Yeah.
one, today is the first day of day three, and then the 7 days to begin the 28 days on January 15. I wanted to give my body contrast, like a lot of contrast before going into the 28 days, because we have done it a lot of times, no? And we live this lifestyle every day. So I wanted to go in having a reset of mind, of thoughts, of everything. So we decided with a lot of like the lifestyle artists that we wanted to fast together. And we created like a Telegram channel called the Fasting Queens at the moment, where we're just like sharing. Because for me,
How
particularly,
long are
that
you fasting for,
we
first of all?
committed to a week.
Okay.
But
Do you think somebody's going to go past a week?
I'm open to that. I think we all are open. This was just like the initial commitment, and we're checking in like all day right now. How are you feeling? How's your body feeling? What each person is doing and everything, but definitely open to continue.
Hmm.
I just don't want to put the pressure on me right now to say, oh, I'm gonna do the 28 days fasting. So it's more like let's commit for 7 days, one day at a time, and let's go, with how it feels. Yeah.
So, um, so your first day, your second day of the fast right now, right?
Hmm.
Is that a second full day because you started when you just stopped eating, or
It will be a full day around like 1.
okay? So what are the first things that you're noticing? Because we get a lot of people who haven't fasted yet,
Hmm.
maybe don't know the benefits. What's happened the first day? You said thoughts of food.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts of food and like, all of the recipes that I could possibly cook or eat or places. But my emotions are much, much calmer, which for me, that I experience everything through my emotions, that's already like a massive contrast.
Hmm.
So my emotions are very, very like mellow or like flat right now. I have more energy.
Hmm.
I thought I was gonna have like a lot of headache, especially because the no coffee and all of that.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a headache, but it lasted nothing. And I also took the keto fuel,
Yeah.
the fascial
But you've
fuel this
also been doing
morning.
you've also been doing fascial maneuvers for a long time because the body contracts at first, and the keto fuel, sorry, the fascial
The
fuel,
fascial fuel, yeah.
the fascial fuel puts the body into ketogenesis. So you take, for you, it'd be 3 tablets, and it lasts for 4 hours. So your body's on ketones, which is the hardest part of moving into the fast is getting the body on ketones. So
Yeah.
once you're on ketones, you're off sugar, you don't have those hormones going all over the place.
Yeah, I do feel a big difference with the fascial fuel today that I took it versus yesterday that I
Thoughts
didn't.
less.
Way less thoughts,
So
way less
so
emotions.
let's talk about why that is. So what happens is the when our blood sugar goes here or here, right, and it does this as you're healing. then the hormones, if the blood sugar goes here, the hormones are here, and then they come up.
Mm.
And it's like this crisscross like this. So when the hormones go up during the fast, then the body, the hormone is a stressor on the body. So the brain needs to explain the stressor. That's why the thought is there, because your hormones are regulated. Another way to do that also is to help people is the fascial suite, because it balances your blood sugar.
Yeah, I'm saving that one for when I feel like, oh, I have a craving. Like I might have a little bit of that with like some tea or some water. Um, but the fascial fuel made a massive, massive difference. And I also had more power,
Yeah,
Kirk.
yeah,
So I went, instead of having only 2 power, Kirk, I had 4
yeah,
today.
yeah. That makes a big difference. Yeah, I do that on when I'm fasting. I'll take 4 to 8 power kirk a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm gonna give my body every tool it needs to heal as fast as it can. And I do most likely, yeah, I think I do 8 a day when I'm fasting. I have been recently.
Yeah, and yesterday, like I was, all excited about the fast because yesterday was my first 24 hours in reality. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have like water with vinegar and like lime and like all of these things that they tell you to do when fasting. And I was feeling so bad. Like I started getting like nauseous, and I was like, okay, I think I'm overdoing the experience, and I should just like keep it simple, maneuvers, emotions, like journaling and bringing that out, and like the supplements, and just go like I don't need to overdo the experience of the fasting. But it's yeah.
Yeah. So it was like when I went to prison for 27 months. It was the greatest fear of my life was to be confined.
Mm-hmm.
The fear that's greater than that is to not have food, because we're taught it's a fuel and you're going to die. And when after I'd done my 44-day fast, I became I my brain has never gone back to the like I need food. I'm more so that's part of it. So how much of your brain is playing into I need food?
Well, for me, it's a great opportunity to rewrite the story because when I had to fast like for 20 days or 21 days, it was in a hospital setting. No, for me, the food was like, if you eat, you're going to die. So to fast again out of choice, it's bringing or it has been bringing a lot of the narrative or memories of that experience.
Right.
So it comes with a lot of like fear, not feeling safe, like does my body actually can handle this, what's going to happen. So I think for me it was the opposite. Instead of like I'm not going to eat, is food going to kill me, is food going to make my pancreas in that case go bad. So like right now it just brings up all of those memories, um to have a chance to like rewrite the story, to feel different about food, but also about fasting and also being in control of my own body and my own health.
Right.
So yeah.
So
Yeah.
um here's the other part. These are the things that I know are a part of the experience. So everybody around you eating. So what does it feel like during, like, we have a team lunch at 2:30 every day. That was funny because
Yeah.
I was telling Gail, I think I said, well, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm fast 5 people in the team lunch. What's he gonna do with all the food he cooks?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so what happens to you when you're around people eating? Because you went through New Year's Day, you went to family things. What kind of thoughts or emotions were going up through them?
I think a lot of stress and like anxiety of, am I going to be able to do this? What if not? What if everybody's doing this? Is it socially correct also? No, like how am I not like polite if I say like, oh no, thank you, like I'm not eating, or all of the conversation that brings up on a table. If everybody's eating and you're not, it's like, why not? Is that healthy? Like my dad was like, oh, why are you doing that? What if you get sick? Like, how is that going to help? Like all of these like fear reactions around food. what we were saying about Diego is like, is something gonna happen because you're not eating? It's like,
Yeah.
how long are you gonna do that for? That's not healthy. Like, people get really sick for doing those things.
Yeah.
So just to, I think the preparing also to be able to handle those conversations and know that they're gonna happen.
Hmm.
You know, everybody has different beliefs about food, and when you bring up one that challenge the one they have, people want to defend. They want to defend their point, their
Even
ground, and it's
if
just
you're not
funny.
saying anything, right? That's the funny part. It's like because I fast a lot, so I
Yeah.
sit with people all the time eating, and it makes them super uncomfortable. And at first, like when Jason, Cynthia, and I had fasted for 44 days, we went for this dinner with a bunch of doctors, and they invited us over, and we sat there. They made this whole spread of food. They sat there, and it was beautiful. I mean, but we told them, look at. I'm sorry. I know you invited us over, but we are fasting. But we still want to. We're there for you. That's why we're coming. And um, and none of them ate. Like they literally touched a few things, but it wasn't for any, like it wasn't a conscious effort. We watched them not eat because we weren't. And it changes people. Like you said, they want to defend their position, but you're not imposing a position. You're just opting out of something that everybody
No.
does.
Yeah, and like I see my dad keeps checking in, which he never does. You know, like if I have eat, but he walks around and he's like, "Should I get you some juice?" Like, what does it mean doesn't look healthy or strong or like good or vibrant that you think right
Is
now I
that is
need
that
all
making
of
you get
that?
in your head? Like, am I okay? A little bit?
No, right now it actually just feels funny
Yeah.
and and like a cool thing to notice of like, oh wow, like we really give so much power to food and the
Wow. Yes.
beliefs around it, no, that it's like, why is he trying to protect me? Like, what are some of the signals that he might be receiving from me? Like, am I sending any unconscious signals saying like something is not good, that
You
he's
are actually.
hovering around,
You
checking on me?
you are technically, because what happens is when you eat food, our hormones are going like this. And
Uh-huh.
when I have an emotion or hormone which creates an emotion, I'm going through these emotional waves every day. All of a sudden, everybody's going through a wave, and then you're just still water. So when they go up, they're like, okay, something's wrong, because they're unconsciously they're used to the pattern of everybody else going through those waves.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's very noticeable. And even my mom already like called and it's like, I heard you're not eating.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's really funny. But I mean, we have the advantage, in the sense of the community. And I think that's like a massive thing. And we always talk about it, like we heal in community. But I also feel we go through these things and through these journeys in community in such a smoother way that when you're doing it alone, like us in the house, no, like now you are fasting, I'm fasting, now Mary's fasting and Tracy's fasting, so now we have like a little group of us fasting in
Fasting
the same
club.
house.
That's
No,
the
so
next part. By the way, that's the next part, because pretty quickly the next thing I experience is there becomes an us and them.
hmm
Because at first, until people get used to it, they feel uncomfortable when we're sitting at the table and they're eating, and then when some people feel uncomfortable around the food, like when I first fasted, it was hard for me to be around the food.
yeah.
Yeah, but if but it becomes so then one of the common things is people separate themselves, and then there's a social anxiety. Like the people ask, like, I don't need food, and you've seen me over the years now. I really don't need food.
Yeah.
And the question is, why do I eat food? Because I feel like I'm an alien on a different planet, and I don't feel connected to
Mm.
anybody. And so when we're having a fast, like if we have a bunch of people coming in for an event or something like that, I never fast, because all of a sudden I'm gonna feel disconnected. They're gonna feel disconnected.
Yeah, and even Mari, like the nanny of like my daughter, came upstairs today, and she was like, I heard you're not eating, and some of the house aren't eating. I think that would be really good for me also. Like, I think I should do it. And I
Yeah.
was like, yes, Mari, like join, like
She
let's
okay.
let's
That's a
do it.
step 11. Step 11. Virgo day in
And
Capricorn. and
Garry is a Virgo.
Virgo, yeah. So here it is, the Virgo. This is a grandmaster in body today, and she's like, yeah, yeah. I love watching her journey.
Oh yeah, and even Maxine, which is a 7-year-old, kid, we did our like New Year's intentions and like we wrote it down like in a picture. And Maxine's first intention, like the first one she put was um to live a healthy lifestyle, which I
Wow,
mean, Maxine,
yeah,
that was her
unbelievable.
first
How,
statement.
how did
Like
that happen?
when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, should I say something? Should I just ignore it? Like, should I celebrate? Like, oh my God, this is huge. Like, she has been like a little bit stubborn towards a lot of things.
Yeah,
And to see that that was her first intention,
yeah.
like to live a healthy lifestyle, like she's taking the supplements, she's doing smoothies now. So
It's been fun to watch her
it has been
because,
fun. Yeah.
yeah, because she's a perfect example, a 7-year-old in community, completely within months becoming completely fluent in another language, with tone and inclination. Like, I think she might even be close to getting better than you.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like she talks about astrology now and things, and she was telling Mary, like, what are some of the benefits of fasting this morning? Because she has heard us talk about it.
Yeah,
No, so like now she was telling Mary, like, yeah, you should do it because the stem cells and these and that. So it was just really funny to like witness the whole thing and how, those good habits or lifestyle just permeate, even if you don't have to enforce them. So
yeah.
it's
Well,
it's
and
cool.
that's the thing is, so part of this is all about social rules. And you know what? We've been working really hard the last couple of years to determine how to bring people into community, because every community I've seen around the world kind of works, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like when you get down and you talk to the people, there's a lot of people that it doesn't work for. And the majority is like, if you go 100 years ago, you're born in a town, a small town, you learn all the rules from everybody there, and there's no course for it, and they don't tell you the rules. Or when you're born into a family, they're like, no, we put our shoes at the door. Other families don't, but they just show you, and through example, you learn the rules of a community. And what we've done is we've been putting a community together, and we did it last year. We put them together and realized, wow, those social rules, a basic level of understanding of how people work together wasn't there. So we put in our values, which by the way is on our website. You can go take a look at, and it creates social structure
Yeah.
so that people know how they're measured. Because if people know how they're measured, they feel safe.
Yeah.
And Maxine has been great at that because she goes around like her thing with Tracy and the phone. She goes and tries, and then she comes back and tries again, and then she may even ask a third time, but she will never go past 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah, that has been quite wonderful. And something that looked for her or that felt for her restrictive at the beginning, it's now probably the thing that makes her feel the more
Safe.
safe
Yeah, yeah.
once
So
she understood it.
so you're 2 days in. You're gonna go 7 days, but potentially more, or just whatever comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what I would say, because either setting a time has one consequence, because if I set a time and say I'm going to do it for this time, then I have to use, if it's not in my heart anymore, I continue to go in that time, which is a lot of where the problems come in. But 7 days is functional. But what we did when the fast is, we had no clear objective. As a
Mm-hmm.
matter of fact, once I got past the 3 week mark into the 28-day part, I'm like, I never want to eat again. And it took me, because Jason and Cynthia actually decided to go back, and I was so at first angry because I wanted to stay in the fast, because and I kind of felt like everybody was leaving me behind, and that's why I came out of the fast. But having that flexibility in a fast to just say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to wake up every day, and how do I feel? I'll work through the day. I find that works. That's really powerful.
Yeah, it feels a lot safer and like less, like the edge of it. But I
Yeah,
think a lot also it's like what is the intention going in, going out of the fast. Like for me, not just the contrast, but like I want to reset my discipline with myself.
Yeah.
I, I want to reset like my consistency in certain things and just rewrite that part of this is also self love. This is just a way of taking care of you without having to do it in a strong way of like I just want to lose weight or something like that, but it's I'm reinforcing my own values to be better as a person thanks to the fast in this case because of like staying within certain things that I made a commitment to.
Yeah.
Even if it makes me a little bit nervous or all of this, it's like, no, it has the food is the the transport or the vehicle right now,
Yeah.
but it's like discipline, consistency, contrast, clean, community. So there's a lot
I
of
noticed that. I
it.
noticed the questions. I was watching Mary and Tracy's face as they're asking, and then the question is, should we do something to prepare for it? Should we get? There's all these, and it comes with this. Oh my God, I just committed to something, and 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 this is part of why you're doing it with a number of the lifestyle artists. Now, are you guys going to open that up? You have a Telegram group. Are you opening
Yeah.
it up to people who want to fast?
Yeah, we can open it up. I think we all love sharing, and the more of us we can do it, the more powerful and the more support we have, and also great ways to also guide others after. No, so I don't know how to post in Telegram from here, but if you DM me in my Instagram, I can send you the Telegram for the channel
Yeah.
for the
But just the
fasting queens.
requirement is you know, Scouts Honor, you are fasting. Yeah. Don't try and go in there and if you're not, like, if you're making a commitment to fast, we want you in that channel. We don't want the conversation otherwise,
Yeah,
because it's not only the conversation, it's the energy.
yeah. And if somebody commits and they start, and I'm not anybody, any of us, and not make it or do a change, it's also honoring that and saying, this happened to me. I did this. I end up eating because of this. No, because it's also important, I feel, recognizing if for some reason somebody change during the process to also acknowledge that and why what happened,
It,
and does that mean you throw everything out now? Do you mean you keep going and start again? Like, what are the the playground that you're allowing yourself to explore this experiment, this journey, and this way of doing things?
yeah, I, I, I find that, like, so one of the things that I would do is when I fast, it'll either be dry or with water. And even when I'm taking water, I like, today total, I'll have 2 glasses of water throughout the day, maybe. Because I don't need a lot of water, because well, first of all, my system, because I've been doing it and it's cleaned out. It's like I don't defecate after the day and a half. Like I'm cleaned out then. Most people are still going,
Mm-hmm.
like 4, 5, 6 days, a week into it, they have some, but mine is cleaned out right away. So I don't need a lot of water in there to fix it. And I noticed that I only drink if I'm thirsty, and I'm not thirsty if I don't need the water. So um, so people that are when I fast, I'll do like 7 days or 10 days or whatever. But then I start off, and afterwards I'll juice for a day, and then and then I may smoothie for a day. And here's the one thing that I'll tell people if they're listening and they want some information. I'm not a fasting expert. I haven't written a book on it. I have done this myself. I started with a 44-day fast. That was my first. No, actually, that's not true. I did a 3-day fast, barely made it through it, but I felt the high and I knew it was there. And then I did a 44-day fast 6 months later, and with Jason and Cynthia. And um, what I found, looking at the way that we treat food, talking to biooptimizers, Wade,
Mm-hmm.
there's a core component, and we are programmed into eating food. So our body takes information. It's like a computer program likes it the same way. So that typically, like when we broke our 44-day fast, we broke it with broth. And I've tried this both ways, and I can tell you right now, it is way different. I would never go back and do cooked food again, because in the human DNA, evolution of the DNA, they come off of the fast, and we didn't eat cooked food until later on in our evolution. So it took us longer to build those enzymes and proteins that were used to cook food. So now what I've done, I've tried it multiple times to make sure that I wasn't imagining it. Because when I came off the fast, the way that I'm going to tell you, then what happens is that I go, before I'm back ramped up to normal eating, I go infinitely longer, and I have more stabilized energy, because it's a stepping stone. So what I do is I come off with raw, I come off with raw juice, or like juice, no pulp. And then after that, after the juice, I'll add fruits. Then that's the first thing I come off with. Then I add vegetables raw, because they have, what it is that when it's raw, the vegetable and the fruit have enzymes in it which help you digest. If you cook it, those enzymes that help you digest aren't there, and your body's looking to mirror those enzymes. So then the third thing I do, usually it'll be like the third day after a fast, then I'll have, and I've done it as short as like a day and a half. So I'll start off with juice. I'll start off with vegetables. Then I'll have a smoothie with a little bit of mass. And then after that, then I have cooked food. I'll have a soup. It could be a broth or something, but I do not come off with hot at all.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the way we're gonna do it. Because last time I did the same thing, I went from fasting to cook food, and it wasn't my greatest idea.
Yeah.
It didn't feel good at all.
Yeah. And even if it's cooked broth, it's because it's the enzymes that your body's looking for. And as soon as you cook it, it kills the enzymes. And our bodies are designed to react to stimulus. So if I put an enzyme in my body knows what to do automatically, and it helps it build the proper enzyme profile to digest that type of food. And if I go first to cook food, then it doesn't quite fit for the raw plants and vegetables. And I've noticed a decrease in energy. Like one of the strongest things was, if I come off the fast the way I said, I'll have a consistent energy for a long period of time without ups and downs. If I come off the other way, I start to go like this, up and down in my energy.
Yeah, no, I want to stay like that and like get out of it in a way that it feels like an experience that I want to do again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so if somebody is coming in, you guys are 2 days in.
Yeah.
If somebody is coming in and wants to go on the fast, they could start today.
Yes.
If they don't have fascial fuel and stuff like that, if they're used to fasting, then just jump in. The fascial fuel, what it does, I'll explain it to people. It's available on our website. Fascial fuel uses beta hydroxybutyrate, which is in all ketogenic products. But our patent that we licensed with our partners uses butyric acid, which is already occurring in your small intestines. That's butyric acid is like when you vomit, butyrate. And by doing that, it works like a homeopathic, and it stimulates your body to produce more butyric acid. So by doing that, it puts the body into ketogenesis, which is not the same as ketosis. Ketogenesis is generating by itself, and it stays there for 4 to 6 hours. 4 is a good number. So that means that your body is no longer on sugar for those 4 hours. So that if your body's not on sugar, your hormones don't go like this. That's why keto fuel is so powerful, because it takes away what they used to call keto flu.
Yeah.
Is that people have the headache and all that, and they get sick. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the metal taste in your mouth and everything.
Yeah. Now, what about fascial maneuvers for people?
I mean, I'm following the 1 day, the 3 day, and the 7 because
you're actually doing
fast.
it.
Yeah, we want to do this in community, so we are following the maneuvers of the day.
Yeah.
And
perfect.
And purposely, I didn't do maneuvers for 2 weeks since coming back from Lions Bay. to have again the same contrast. Now, like,
Yeah.
know that, and now go into the fasting with the maneuvers. The only thing is the maneuvers fasted, they get me so high, like so high,
Yeah.
so high. Like
Giddy.
the
Giddy.
minimal maneuver, like knee torque, and I'm like, ooh, I'm already flying.
It's like,
So they're
honey, come over
fun.
here. What you do? Knee torque.
Yeah, and I did day one seated down because I try to do like anti-gravity standing, and just by the first like looking up, I was like, oi, I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
space. So like I did it seated down, which changed the pressure, and it was like super good, but I got so high with like 5 maneuvers that it lasted
Yes.
maybe 2 hours that high, or that like in the zone flowy vibe,
So that's a way
that it
for
was great.
people who are fasting, because normal people fast, they try not to do movement because you're exerting energy, but fascial maneuvers doesn't exert energy. It takes away stress.
Mm-hmm.
So that's super powerful for people who are fasting. And if you fasted before and you had a hard time doing exercise, it's because your body's used to using adrenaline to move.
Yeah.
It's restricted, and that adrenaline wears you out. It's a hormone.
Yeah. But in no, like with the maneuvers, he felt like really good. And also today doing the movements, it was just like a pampering the body. Like I didn't feel I gave up energy. I actually feel energized and like more into a state of like in the zone. It would be the
Yeah.
way I would describe
So
it.
this
Yeah.
is another part too, because when one of the reasons why we eat food, the primary reason is to have to fire hormones to balance the emotions that are coming up in our experience. So when you're not eating, you get access to serotonin in your gut.
Mm.
Fascial maneuvers opens that up dramatically, and serotonin makes you feel connected to the world. It's so when you do fascial maneuvers, like if you look at somebody who does, let's say, ecstasy or MDMA, all of a sudden they don't want to eat. So basically, what you're doing is you're giving yourself ecstasy.
Yeah, I guess it feels like being super high, super in the flow, and definitely more connected, because I have also noticed myself wanting to hang out or like being in the spots of the house that I know people will be,
Yeah,
which is the kitchen, the
yeah.
swings area, no? So like just being there. And also I think I have been peeing a lot more.
Yeah, that's normal, because what happens is your body with the minerals and the water is making is functioning and flowing fluid to make your hormones. So when you use less hormones, the first thing your body does is it gets rid of the unnecessary water weight,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why people have that drop in weight initially when they
Mm.
fast. But yeah, again, at this stage with me, like you can see, I'm going
Yeah.
on to 4 days here, and I don't look like anything different than 4 days ago. Oh, except for my face and my
Oh
head.
yeah,
But
your
that's
face has been changing so much.
yeah, and that's because of the when I fasted at the third day, there's no more restriction in the fascia. You can move stuff easier.
And Gary, now that you were touching on hormones, like, like when we have like our period, no? And I feel very different in different stages of the
Yeah,
cycle. Like I get a lot of cravings, and like for chocolate, like dark chocolate, or even for like something very groundy when I'm
yeah,
like close to enter my cycle and things like that. Like for would it be a different better time for like women and things like that, like
yeah.
to do fast based on your cycle and your hormones?
You know what? There's a lot of talk about this, and one of the things it says is I hear all the time. It's dangerous for women to fast while they're on their cycle. I literally, people write that all over the place. And what it is if we're super unhealthy and we start to fast, our body goes into full cleaning mode. And then if it's not ready for that, then it can cause a few issues. But when you take away the reason why you crave different things through your cycle is that you're emitting a series of hormones. Women hold emotion. That's why women have more fascia normally and less muscle dominantly normally. not true today so much, but they hold a little bit more softness in them because they're holding more water and they're holding more emotions. And you know, for me, getting fat was all my emotions because I wasn't eating, and I gained, and I just blew up like
Yeah.
a balloon. So what I tell women who are fasting is if you've never done it before, then don't necessarily do it during your fast. You can, but it's just going to give you more to deal with because your body's going through that shedding of all the emotions you held. The shedding of blood is women
Yeah.
receive. They're the best at receiving. So they're shedding literally all of that they've received through the course of the month. And that causes a lot of, like, when you're not eating, you're thinking of all the things. Well,
Mm-hmm.
same thing happens when you're shedding your blood. You're actually going through all of the emotions that are going out. On their way out, you have to think about them again.
Yeah. But it might be a perfect timing, no? Because like a deep cleaning of the house, let's say, and mine will cross during the fast.
Yeah, that's better.
So
Because it's the
I'm
first three
excited
days.
to see that.
Yeah, the first 3 days. It's going to be interesting to watch. It's going to be interesting to watch, what that changes for you, because my experience is that you have less hormonal distribution, so the cravings aren't there because you're part of that hormone blood sugar cycle is doing this. So if you don't have the blood sugar dysregulating, your body is, if it's not on blood, it's not on sugar. Sugar is the drug. So if it's not on the drug, then it doesn't have the same need to rebalance itself. Why do we take supplements and why do we do all this healthy stuff? Is because we eat food. We don't eat food, our body's producing stem cells. We're using a minimal amount of hormones. And everything we know about the human body, everything that we say is healthy, your testosterone, your estrogen level, it's all based on everybody who is eating, who is fascially restricted, chemically toxed. So all that what we say is healthy is based on those facts. But when you take somebody out of those and they don't, like, you've been practicing this for a long time, getting all the chemicals out of your life, fascial maneuvers, working on emotions. So you're going to have a completely different experience.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I will be reporting back on how it went, including like going through the period and like all of that, and with the community, and to see how that evolves. I'm really
Yeah,
excited.
we'll have maybe even like through the course of the week here, maybe even have you and one of the other members
Mm-hmm.
come up and talk about it. Yeah, because I want to support you guys, and I want other people to see it. And people ask us if we have a fasting program, and we don't. I'm going to so this will help us create some content for it. But I'm interested in a fasting restaurant. I already picked out the name. It's called Nothing Better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Dan, let's say that's his. We're gonna have waters from all over the world. People who are fasting come together and get there. That's gonna happen. Dan's such a joker, but that is gonna happen. So if
Please
somebody
make
wants
sure
to
to
join,
add some like ice chips to
yes,
keep the menu with a lot of options.
yeah. um,
Oh my
so
God.
so someone wants to join this and they are going to fast, they can DM you. You'll put them in the Telegram
Yes.
group, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now they're going to start. If they started today, they're going to be starting on day 2. So they can go right to day 5, but they can continue in
Yes.
and a couple extra days. And you guys are their support. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to. You're going to stop at 7 days too. You may go longer, you may not.
Exactly. We're gonna keep the group open for a little bit for the ones that want to continue, or the ones of us that want to continue. And it's actually perfect that some people are starting today, because now we can be like, okay, we're a day or two ahead. Like, you can wait for this happen, I deal with it
Yeah.
like this. So it's even better.
Yeah, that's if it wasn't for Jason and Cynthia going through it at the same time, there's no way I would have made it 44 days.
Yeah.
Because there were times where I'd go out of the habit, open the fridge. It was funny because we basically had no food in the fridge because we weren't eating. We would go to the fridge, we'd open the fridge, we'd stand there, and we would talk, and then we'd close the fridge. And I'm like, what is this? Like, this habit that we've created that we can't move away. So like we stopped eating food and we're okay with that, but we still opening the fridge.
Oh yeah.
I did
That's
it today,
funny.
by the way.
I did it too.
Well, Okay, so just put your handle in after we get off here, and then you can answer any questions too, because somebody asking, like, there's some questions like, can
Yeah,
I start without fascial fluid? Yeah, you can. Yeah, these are just tools that make it super effective. I guess what is best way to say it.
perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
See you soon.
Okay, see you in a minute.
See you in a minute. Bye.
In the fasting group.